A little bit of different night tonight, different format.
Yeah, we're in here in the control room at Purple Bee, calling this the Groove Lab. We got all this gear set up to make music and make loops. So in addition to our normal video and sound duties, we're going to try to make some music. We're going to spend a little bit more time talking tonight than maybe we would usually. We're going to be just, rapping and talking shop, chopping it up.
So yeah, we put out a question on Twitter today, and this is going to be our question of the week for the Groove Lab. What's the most challenging thing about improvising with a group in a live setting? And also, what's the most rewarding?
The most difficult thing about improvising is obviously just going out on a limb. To do it right, you have to take a risk, and you have to do it without a net. And so as soon as you have the net, it's somehow easier, but it's also not as dangerous. Therefore, it's also not as exciting. So getting rid of the net is the hardest part, but it's also the most rewarding. It's the same answer for both.
Okay.
Final answer.
I like it. Let's read a few of these. First one's from Stony Eye Studios. This is a fellow Decentraland streamer. Stony Eye says, most challenging thing is when someone in the group doesn't know how to listen and just goes through the motions of playing their part. Most rewarding is the feeling you get when everyone is in the zone and things just click.
Fuck yeah.
That's right. It's pretty much nailed it. Madamus Crypto on Twitter says, when the groove kicks in, wow, there's no other feeling like it, and it's the most rewarding. Most challenging is finding people who listen and can assimilate all the information at once into their next notes instead of forcing everyone to follow theirs. There you go. We're
good answer.
Yeah, man. Universal truths. I hear the voice of AbstractAmcr. We're going to bring him in. There he is.
Oh,
in his
yeah.
remote bunker.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on that conundrum of improvisation and when it works and when it does? What's the most challenging? What's the most rewarding?
I'm very much a derivative sort of worker, so I need somebody, something else that gives the catalyst that makes it all click, and the idea takes shape form. Yeah. So for me, getting started is fucking Mount Everest.
The initial spark, the inspirational element that you can dissect and remix and chop up and put back together. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's why I do so many collaborations.
Yeah.
Because I need that other energy, even if it's with the machine. Like the stuff that I do with AI is so filled with entropy and oddness that it gives me that spark, and then I find direction.
Right. Absolutely. I'd say I'm that way visually, in the design world. Like, I more often than not, if I'm going to do some kind of poster or something where I'm left to my own sort of devices, there's not a direction given to me. It's just like, come up with something. Sometimes I'll just start either watching TV or listening to music or floating around the web and Google images and just like going down rabbit holes of weird search terms until I find something that maybe sparks my interest. I'll pull that into Photoshop and I'll just start going to town. I'll just start chopping it up, remixing it.
Start riffing on it. I do the exact same thing.
So we're talking about design. We're talking about music. It's kind of all overlapping. That's what's funny. Mark's world, visual jamming. How do you approach jamming with the band on these Wednesday nights from your perspective? Like, how does your improvisational thing happen visually?
It starts with sort of the melodic elements, and those sort of create a feeling, something smooth and blobby or sharp lines like we've got in the background. Sort of whatever synesthetically gets triggered is usually the base content I'll start with, and then the patch that I go with from there is jamming along with you guys, like tweaking things out, see where we're going to go. If I want to get depth to it, if we want to be more 2D. So, I'm creating a lot of the patches on the fly for some of the stuff that we're doing.
I'm curious what Big Mike thinks on just because it's a whole nother thing that he's bringing into the improv mix is the lyrics on demand out of his dome. You know, it's kind of cool that we all have this well that we draw from in our improvisation, that our own talents, if you will. And Big Mike, where do you get your inspiration from? How do you come up with stuff that fast?
Man, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, from the jump, the music, like from tones to different notes to the rhythm of the drums or the bass or whatever, like it's all a combination. And whatever that inspires me to feel, you know, then I'll try to come up with something to build around or come up with a hook or something. And then inspirationally, hopefully that drives me to start thinking 2 steps ahead so I can take words from that and then just put them in front of each other. And then it becomes like, once you get the words going, then I can focus on the rhythm of them. So then I can change up the flow, which then allows me to start and stop again like y'all do with the music. And then I can just go to a totally different rhyme or a totally different rhythm of words or whatever I want to do. So like, that's what's the most fun for me, is when y'all create and I can feel the vibe and the energy that y'all are bringing, then it influences me. Usually I attach the words to, of course, either the rhythm from the bass line or a melody or whatever, and I'll try to come up with a hook to build around, like I was saying. And then from there, it's just about the energy in the room, and I try to catch the rhythm and be able to switch up, you know, the words and just stop. And it's funny, people say, I don't know how you freestyle like that, and you literally, because there's no like specific cadence, you have total control of your flow, so you can stop and start wherever you want. Just you got to have your ear listen to the drums or listen to when the bass comes back in or whatever it is that drops. And that's what's most fun for me, because it's challenging. It's like playing a game with my friends. It's like we're playing basketball except we're making music. You know what I mean? And the goal is to make badass jams, right? So like, that's the ultimate prize to me, is when we figure all that out and then we listen back, or in the moment you can even feel that connection, that spark, and you're like, dang, that was awesome. You know, it's nothing better than that.
Word. Let's see if we can get a Big Mike vibe going right now. Just see what happens. We take our time with it, you know what I mean? 'Cause we're laying down a nice loop, get it nice and funky and crispy. Yo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Come on. Yeah. Yep. Hey. Groove lab.
Yeah.
We in the groove lab.
Yo, get me in the mood lab. Yeah, we chillin' in the groove lab. Yeah, it's time to get me in the mood lab. Yeah, we chillin' in the groove lab. It's start to get me in the mood lab. Yeah, chillin' in the groove lab. Yeah. Round 2, what we gon' do? Came to do something, yo, how about you? Came to grab the mic and make another move. Yo, with the rhythm so smooth, you gon' groove in the groove lab. Hell yeah, we create in real time. Yo, this is off of my mind. We come through like this is all by design. Yeah, we let the universe take control. When you feel that power in your soul, don't you know which way you gotta go? Oh, now we slow up the flow. And people are like, oh yeah, now you know. See, we got total control. We in the groove lab. And now you know we in the groove lab. Yeah, get me in the mood lab. Yeah, we chillin' in the groove lab.
We in the groove lab, groove lab, groove lab.
Yeah.
Groove lab. We in the groove lab. We in the groove.
Yeah. One more verse from Big Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just fill up the beat, makes you just want to go in, you know. No ill intentions from the start, but I can't stop until I reach your heart. Big Mike come through, yeah, I play my part. On precise like the target, like a damn dart. Yo, from the start, I've never ever been weak. It's Big Mike come through, I spit every week. Give me some time to create these rhymes up in my mind. Hell yeah, just give me a minute to spin it around like a DJ. Bring it back one time, yeah, I got that. It's Big Mike in my bag of tools. It's come through like this, you can't rap, you a fool. Stay back, yo, I do what I do. Big Mike, it's my turn to make a move. This is chess, not checkers, don't get confused. If you fucking with me, then you gonna lose. I leave them bruised up, blacked up. It's Big Mike, come through, they getting smacked up. Whole crew's talking shit, you better back up. Big Mike, CHHK facts, bruh. Bring the heat every time when I speak. Hell yeah, give me the mic, yo, it's my time to peak. To the pinnacle, yo, you looking pitiful. It's Big Mike, come through, big words, y'all minuscule. Yeah, like a pitfall from the Atari days. Yo, I don't play them games. I just come around and spit flames. Then I go to the back and smoke some J's. Big Mike come through, take one to the face. Hell yeah, I'm the illest, can't be replaced. You fucking with me, probably catch a case. It's Big Mike, when we in the race, I'm gon' win the cup. Never giving up, hitting hard, bitch, like a fucking Mack truck. Down on the highway, taking it my way. It's one time for me to shine. So I gotta do it my way. Any day, anything that I say. Hell yeah, came around, serious flow, no play, no games. Big Mike, come through. I break them chains every time when I record, man. We came to do it. Don't ever get confused when Big Mike keep going in. Now you losing. Now we brewing up some brews when come around here. Yeah, we winning like some Bruins. About to rally the castle. Big Mike teach the game like graduation tassels. Hell yeah, they can't handle. Big Mike grab the microphone and I leave it dismantled.
Yeah. You could dismantle. You could dismantle. You could dismantle. We also got this Wheel of Jam. If you look on 7, there's a Wheel of Jam tonight. It's got some fun stuff. We're spinning for the jam cards, Golden Shrimp Guild. Jam cards are in full effect. And some other fun stuff on that wheel.
Woo.
Loopy Pro. Pet Shop Boys. Make a preset. Yeah, so a lot of fun stuff on there. Thanks for playing. Thanks for being here. If you're in Decentraland, we love you. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see, Abstract, you send
I got music looping. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna fade into you.
That's right. We're up in here, Purple B, in the control room. We got this Groove Lab. This is the very first time we've done the Groove Lab. We're calling it that, and so we're calling it episode 1. We made a PO app. The way you can get a PO app is just by showing us that you've been here, by proving it with either a monetary donation or a social post in our honor. We'd be sure appreciative of that. You can go to purplebee.org/donate, make it real easy. Tell us what you're thinking. Maybe get that wheel of jam spinning. Thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for AbstractAmcr remixing Jagtronica and showing us how it's done. This is improvisation folded into improvisation and fired back at you live on the air in the moment. Ram's in the house. Ram's been doing most of the camera work for the Jagtronicas and the Wednesday night stuff. So you could say he's been improvising himself from the director chair. Isn't that right? You feel like you're improvising when the band is jamming and you're doing your thing? It's an improv thing, right?
Yeah, it's cool. There's such a good revolving group of musicians who come in. And there's some who are around more often. Obviously, you guys are the staples. So I'm most familiar with kind of the spaces you guys like to sometimes explore. But it's always fun if someone new comes in. Hold it closer. If someone new comes in, and it's interesting because they've got a feed, oftentimes out there, you guys can see what's going on. And sometimes I get to talk to them at set break after the first set, and they're like, oh, man, I really see that you're kind of feeling us and hopping in. So, yeah, the element of kind of, somebody said it in the chat earlier, listening. When I'm, filming and directing, I'm listening for who's saying what in the jam, who's speaking, and who's kind of stepping up, and get to follow that. And it just gets so fun to watch an idea get passed around and try to follow it visually.
Right. And I think something we set up here that was the first time I've tried it, and it's kind of unique to me. I don't think we're the first people to do this, but essentially you can direct the program and switch cameras from the cameraman position. So you're simultaneously moving the camera, zooming in on people, making camera moves, making creative moves, but you're also switching between other cameras. So it's like two jobs combined into one. Usually in a production, those are two different people. So to put both those hats on, I found it like a really cool, very musical thing, actually. You felt like almost like you're playing another instrument.
Yeah, it's like percussive.
Yeah.
Following the beat. It's awesome. I had never done anything like that before COVID. Because like you said, traditionally I've always just done camera op more so than switching, directing like that. Yeah. I've definitely had my fair share, but getting to do that, front of house style camera with the multicam feed and the switcher on top, it presents a challenge, but it's so fun.
Also the lights and the fog machine. Yeah.
I like to
he's
fog
also
out.
The light guy.
I like to fog out Grego because he always says when it gets too thick he can't even see.
He can't see either way. Oh yeah, we got some donations coming in. $20 from
Thank
Sarah.
You, Sarah.
Yeah, nice. And Jesse threw down 7-11 earlier. Thank you guys so much. That $20 is worth the spin on the wheel of jam.
Yeah.
I don't want to break up our flow here though. We're just getting into the weeds on this camera, music, directing, video, music, improvisation. Like before you started doing this with us, did you ever make those connections? Because you shot a lot of music, both video-wise as a cameraman and also just as a still photographer. Like, you guys should go to Ram's Instagram. It's Dad's Old Camera.
Dad's Old
He
Camera.
does a lot of music, but not just music. There's all kinds of
mix it up
stuff. So, like, have you made that connection before, or felt those kind of itching the same scratch?
So here's what's unique to me about Purple Bee. I've never felt before like I've been able to get so creative visually. And just have carte blanche to do what I want and what I think is fun. And I've had some great opportunities and loved it. The work I do with CJ more lately is a lot of fun. We get to be really creative.
Shout out C-Roll.
Shout out CJ. Shout out C-Roll Productions. But it's so cool here because it feels like in this building, anybody who comes in, or isn't even here, whether it's abstract, whether it's the people chatting and spinning, like it's so collaborative. And everybody who's here the people who come and hang and watch, it truly feels like we're all just creating together. Just like the opening questions y'all had, I think, about improv. It's like it feels like it extends beyond just you guys as the musicians. That's this foundation, but we all get to add a layer.
Right.
Very unique.
Well, it's something that we've talked about as sort of a pillar of Purple Bee, or at least that we want to be this foundational element of Purple Bee is just the concept of improv from from foundational level. To improvise is to be in the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, and you cannot truly improvise unless you are in the moment.
Yeah.
And we've proven both of these theories to be true and false. What I mean is you cannot always be in the moment. It just cannot always work. You can't have 100% batting average at this stuff. It's hard. When you're trying to do it for real, it's not easy. So when it does work and it does click and you are in the moment and we are listening and it does start to happen, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
Right? It's so like, it feels good. It feels like you get a hit of dopamine in a cool way that doesn't happen in a lot of other, I don't know, walks of life.
Yeah.
Or it does, but you got to recognize it for what it is. I think it does happen in walks of life. Like, you know, for instance, when we're not playing music, when we're just doing production and we go to a gig and we've got to set up and something goes wrong and you got to think on your feet. You got to get out the gaff tape and you got to find the adapter and you got to do the things. That's improvising.
Yeah, for
and you're
sure.
doing it as a team. And when you succeed and you get through the gig, you know, that's more or less the same thing. So so what we're trying to do is draw the whole thing together and say that that's what we're about. And when you're doing that, good things are going to happen. At least you're going to have a good time doing it and like build some camaraderie with the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
It's a special thing. I think I was thinking about the question you guys opened up with, again, about improvisation.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing is getting out of my own way to create, and that's also the most rewarding.
Right.
Because, like, and then to see it happen in a group, it's even more astonishing. It becomes like a domino effect of, like, selflessness, open-mindedness, like, willing to participate rather than steer, you know, rather than take control of the wheel and just be like, I'm driving, motherfucker.
Right.
You know.
Big time. So I think what we're trying to do by slowing down this Wednesday night and kind of taking a step back, talking about it for a minute, is we're trying to center ourselves and we're trying to get in touch with what we're really trying to pull off here. And then we're going to move forward with a lot more clarity. And I think if we can bring in other people on these Wednesday nights to talk to that are experts about this in various forms and formats and disciplines, like, for instance, someone who's a live looping music artist and they play a solo show. I don't know, you know, Mark Rebier, Keller Williams, people like that. You would consider them masters of the sort of solo live looping experience. I want to know what they're thinking about. Yeah. And when they bring on people to collaborate with and they start improvising with other people, what does that do to their deal? And I want to ask people that. I also want to go back to what Big Mike was talking about, where we kind of like hang around and we're looking for a seed. Actually, Abstract brought this up. He's looking for a seed of inspiration that he can riff off of and remix. And whenever we have these set breaks and Kate Fuego does her dancing and we're taking a breather, we're smoking a dude, we're having a drink before we do it again, usually some conversation will be sparked that's like that will be thought-provoking enough that we'll either go and Google it and try to get a sample of it, or you know, off YouTube, or we'll just have it in our brains and use it as something that may or may not come out in the music later on. Yeah. So tonight we're talking about fluoride in the water, right? And what was the question you asked? He had a genuine question.
First of all, folks, no agenda here. We're not pushing.
Objection, hearsay. Arrow Senpai.
Why is it in there? Is this just for our teeth? Here's some of the questions that were brought up. Who's behind this? That's such a big movement that it ended up being global. This can't just be big.
You saying who's really behind this, or
who's really behind it? When I said Big Dental, which you called
Big Tooth.
Big Tooth. But you know, some other theories were proposed and tossed out. Does it calcify the pineal gland to keep us from being more clear-minded and free-thinking and thinking for ourselves? I mean, what don't y'all let us know in the chat? What's the deal with...
Abstract says he's muted. I think he's got something to say about this.
Yeah. Let's hear him. What's up, Abstract?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Sorry.
It really has a lot more to do with big industry. Fluoride being an exponent of industrial processes that they had a ton of.
Like corn.
And there is a benefit of its small pieces, reportedly. And so that's where it actually all began, way back in like the.
What about the
40s
pineal gland? Does it really crust over your pot? You know anything about that?
No.
Okay.
That one.
Maybe your pineal gland is too close.
That's exactly what someone with a crusty pineal gland would say.
That's good.
Anyway, I think we should spin the wheel for Sarah. The wheel of jam. There's some things on here that aren't necessarily strictly musical, so we'll see what happens here.
Thank you, Sarah.
Here we go.
AMA. Lay down AMA.
Ask me anything.
Yeah, that's it was. We can pick. I think we should make Grego do the AMA. AMA is Ask Me Anything, so we're giving the opportunity for the chat to ask you literally anything, and you have to answer it.
Maybe you don't know about Grego's background.
Yeah.
You don't know where he's from. He's from Poland.
Maybe you don't know what his pineal cyst.
Sarah's got first dibs on this question, but we'll take some chat questions too if you got any help. I want to read that. D-Buzz, if you could ask Grego anything, what would you ask him? He doesn't have to answer this, but I just want to know what you'd ask.
What was your favorite cartoon when you were a kid?
They don't have cartoons in Poland.
Did you have cartoons?
Only reality in Poland.
Is the question, do we have cartoons in Poland?
No, I want to know your favorite cartoon. I know you had cartoons.
Yeah, Reksio.
What is it? Reksio?
Reksio.
What's that mean?
A little doggy. It's a doggy. It's a cartoon about a little
Somebody
doggy.
Google that.
Yeah, Reksio.
How do you spell it?
REKSIO. Reksio.
There's no silent Z followed by the Q.
No finer RZ, nothing like that. No crazy.
Reksio. What's up, Sarah Mitchell?
Reksio, check it out.
Sarah dropped a psh on you, G.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Man. It was a long weekend.
Thank you so, Sarah.
Here you go.
Reksio, you got
Rickshaw.
it? Reksio.
There he is.
Oh,
Rickshaw.
yeah.
What's the name of his butterfly friend?
Oh, totally forgot.
I like it. We got any video?
There's, somebody needs
You have to wait till
find
Saturday morning?
Yeah, maybe we should do like a soundtrack to Reksio cartoon.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
into
here, Full Rev Trev has a question. What inspired the Grego signature bass line?
that. Oh my lord, I don't even know.
What inspired it? I think, man, I'll answer this for him. He was born with it. When he came out of the womb, it was playing in his head. It's never stopped. It sort of drives him crazy sometimes, but sometimes
he was sent from space on that bass line.
Yes.
No, so you're exactly right, Ebos. Like, I believe that everybody is born with that song in their head, and they trying to like constantly interpretate and in different songs and playing with different people, but it's the same song, and I guess that's mine. I can't get away from it. It's always there. Sometimes I don't even listen to stereo in my car because it's so overwhelming that I can't just have two music, so I'd rather just have this one. And it comes from all the bass players that actually kind of are groovy, maybe less is more, and then more minor key.
Could you sing what's playing in your head right now? Could you just go ahead and vocalize it? Stuff like that. That's what I hear right now.
Can we loop that? Can you do it into Eboz's mic?
Come back here and loop that shit.
You want to loop that?
Why not? That's it, y'all. Can we jam to it? Yeah. Pull up your rickshaw.
Yeah, Reksio. Yeah. Come on. Sing about Reksio, man. Good doggy. Total rickshaw for you.
Rickshaw.
Nice groove, y'all.
Runaway rickshaw.
It's amazing how you can do that with just a vocal sample, though, right? You started. That's what started.
That's
that.
how it starts. You know, it has to start somewhere. You just plant a seed and just grows. The plant grows.
In true Jag fashion, here's what we do. This is our special touch. When that jam ends, we erase all the loops,
Yep.
never to
Yeah.
be played again.
No,
Never.
that's it.
Erase. They're gone from
Yeah.
memory.
She
Sorry,
gone.
she gone.
She gone.
She gone.
Walking, looking.
Hey, real quick, I want to go back to our question of the week on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hashtag Group Lab questions. We had one more thing I didn't read by Sean C.
Oh yeah,
And they said
Sean C.
the most rewarding. That we were asking what's the most challenging part about improvising in a group setting, but
And
also what's the most rewarding.
And then
And then he said, the most rewarding part is feeling totally in sync with your fellow band members. When you look at them and everyone knows the vibe is just right. Rock and roll
rock
horns.
and roll.
And then the most challenging is going to a jazz club and feeling demoralized after your face has been melted by much better musicians.
Oh jeez.
Emoji crying laugh.
Yep.
Yes.
Can feel that,
Feel that.
and I felt that.
Another one of badass Polish cartoons you have to check it out is Bolek I Lolek.
All right, spell it for Ram.
Ram's gonna look it up.
Bolek, B-O-L-E-K, and Lolek, L-O-E-K.
Hey, you know the
What?
you know the difference between Lolek and Bolek?
I knew it. I fucking knew
What?
it.
What's the difference?
I don't need you to Lolek.
Those are two brothers. And they're totally badass.
Troublemakers.
Bolek and Lolek.
It looks a little bit like the.
Bolek is on the left.
Looks like
I
you,
think.
Grego.
Dennis the Menace.
Lolek on the right.
Lolek on the left.
Grego
yeah.
Lolek.
Lalush, not Lalush. Lolek.
Lalush. Balush and Lalush.
The kid on the right, with the purple pants from the purple crayon.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's Grego's cousin.
Anyway.
Shout out to Poland, Grego's fam,
Yes.
Mommins. What's
Yeah.
up with Mommins? She on her way?
Mommins, oh my God, Mommins is coming
Mommins.
in just a few days, less than a week.
Oh my God!
Unbelievable.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Have you rolled out the carpet?
The carpet is rolled. I need to unroll it.
FlatlineBB says that was me and Grego growing up.
Grego, I need an update on the construction of.
Oh my God,
The new
construction of the Hive is unbelievable. There's windows cut out everywhere. It's going to be very transparent. You're going to be able to chill with us in the studio, a lot more room. You'll be able to see from outside in and
Yeah.
from in out, and then from the control room to the lounge and all that. So the framing is almost done. The electric and AC coming next. And
Nice.
shout outs to Scotty, of course.
Scotty Railings.
Scotty Railings and all the Jags. It's coming along. Sheetrock is next. AC's already there.
So I like how this is a little preview tonight. How we're shooting through the windows. Ram is in the
that's
live room.
exactly, you're going to be seeing more of that.
It's going to be
Sure.
that like times 1,000 at the new
Yes.
place. We're going to be, you'll be able to see all the way through. All right, Groove Lab, Loop Lab. I'm gonna lay down a loop on Ebos' iPad from my Nord. Oh shit!
That's
What do we
right.
call that one? Recce what? Oh, Bolik Lolik. Yeah.
Lolik and Lolik.
Bollock.
Make sure Jake
Just call it bollock.
marks it. Put in the markers. Bolek Lolik.
Bolhoff and Lohoff.
Another popular cartoon from Poland was Maya the Bee.
Yes.
That's from FlatlineBB, I think.
Yes, Flatline.
Yeah. And he says, Pazuzika Maya. Is that right? Pazuzika?
Tell her that I named my dog like that.
Oh, he named his dog Maya after the show. Nice. Her friend was Guccio. He named his other dog Guccio, right? Yeah.
That's another cartoon.
Unbelief.
Yeah, all cartoons.
Bring me in on the video. Flatline, we'll send you a link to the Zoom. We'll get you in here.
That's
Hey.
something interesting to think about for you guys, though. Like, to do the live stream, y'all are basically like freestyling all that. So how does that feel, like, with the whole back end of the everything that y'all are putting in and talking about?
Yeah.
Like, where does that
Dude,
inspiration come from?
It's hard. It's been a challenge. I would say that much. Like it doesn't come natural to anyone to multitask that much, I'd say, but
Right.
certainly not me.
You're doing the best at it of all of us, though.
But it's like the more I can handle, the more I take on.
Right.
That's why you see more screens in here. Oh, we can do one more thing.
You see a
Before
hole.
I-
Make it
You
easy.
see a hole. You plug it.
So it's like we could do this thing to make it easier, but actually you're giving yourself more work.
Right.
We're striving. We're
Well-
pushing it to the limit.
I think
Hey.
it's more like we opened Pandora's box and we don't know how to close it.
Right.
And so every time we see some room in that box, we just put some new gadget in it.
I love it, man. I love it because, like, I remember when y'all first started streaming, and every time y'all did it, I would come and I was staying across the street then. Every time I would come, there would be something different that y'all had, different camera, different angle, different idea.
Well, I tell you what.
Yeah.
This is the improv
Yeah.
in this is that we're playing a long.
love
It's
that,
a
man.
longer improv where we're iterating on it every week, and we didn't have to tear it down. Our whole lives we've been doing a lot of video stuff, but I think we had to tear down after every gig, and we probably just set up before every gig. So when we finally got this place that we could use as our laboratory, Groove Lab, we decided we would just like build it like Legos. And Grego really set the stage because he's been building a studio like that for years.
Right.
And he's been adding like a treatment to the walls every week. He's got a new project of wall treatment, or just a tchotchke in a corner you didn't see before, or some light up thing over
Yeah.
there, and curtains that Mammons knitted
Sewed,
for us,
yeah.
and we put them over there, and
Or a sign in
a new
different
sign, a
place.
new
Yeah.
light. And so we just started like taking that approach to the video as well. We just started sort of tinkering and adding on and Voltroning as we went. And now 2 years later, we're where we are now. And so it's like a cathedral of junk, if you will. But it's been fun.
Stand by for Flatline.
Oh
with
yeah, look who's here! Unbelievable! Yes, that's familia right there, y'all.
So that was you in the cartoon, wasn't it?
Swan you, yes.
That
You
was.
remember?
I was a short, fat one.
You remember all the Maya and Boligi Lole?
Yeah.
Rexo?
Of course.
Yes. Yes.
That's why I'm feeling exactly what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
See, what all these guys don't realize is how far back we go.
Yeah.
We lived together in New York when I was in high school. We grew up together, our whole family, in Poland, and so I saw him almost daily. Grego taught me everything I know about music. He introduced me to all the bands that I need to listen to, and I kind of took it from there.
No, but anyway, when I moved to US, I couldn't speak English and didn't know shit. So this is my cousin's son. So it's like a nephew. What would you say? Second nephew?
Grand cousin? I don't know. It gets really messed up in our family.
It's messed up, yeah.
His mom and my grandmother were sisters.
Yeah, that's it.
He was a huge influence on me. It's because of him I started playing drums when I was in high school and college. I was in a jazz band in high school and college. I actually met Grego when I got to know him as a drummer first, then a keyboard player, then a guitar player, and finally bass when he moved to Texas. So yeah, that bass song was probably playing in his head all along, but
we made
I
him
didn't
play
hear him.
drums. when we met Grego, he was also more a drummer than anything, and so actually, like, we probably hadn't even jammed with you ever, but we had a vibe. We knew you were cool. And then our drummer wigged out and didn't show up one day, and we had just eaten mushrooms and we're like ready to like make up songs. We had everything set up, and the drummer didn't show up, and we're like, what are we gonna do? So we called Grego, and he's like, I'll be right there.
This is the story. Yeah, get
We
going.
wrote Chappie that song, remember?
We wrote a few. We wrote like 4 or 5 songs.
4 or 5 songs that night.
Yeah, so he gets there, we're already buzzing. He eats his mushrooms as quick as he can, and he sits down at the drum kit, and the rest is history. 30 years later, we're collecting our Grammys.
Golden Bees.
The Golden Bees, that's right.
Pull-ups, yeah.
Hold on real sec. Kerm came in there with a 20.
Kerm,
thank you so much, Kerm.
much.
We love you.
Everybody's always so generous. Blows my mind the generosity of people that that partake in this experience.
Agreed.
It's always great. It's always amazing. So
big family.
So the main thing for me now is that you guys finally know who I am. And when I say Grego's my family, I'm not just talking metaphorically.
All right.
We believe you now.
Yeah,
we believe you. Heard the whole story.
Thank you.
It's good to have you always. Thanks for your support, man. You're like miles away, but I'm feeling you.
But this is what's so special for me about these weekly broadcasts is that I get to see you and I get to hear you and your friends, people that hopefully will become my friends someday.
Absolutely.
I get to hear you guys create and be inspired and be like, yo, I know that guy. That's my cousin. Look, he's internet famous now.
Well, you even use Jacktronica clips for your show, right?
I did. Unfortunately, that hasn't been published yet. It's a work in progress, but yes, I do appreciate that a lot.
Thanks, man. Yeah, check out Boligi Lolik. Love you, man.
I love you too, man. Love you too. Thanks for bringing me in, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
We're gonna do a jam with a jam card of the Golden Shrimp Guild. Change the key, but leave one melodic phrase unchanged. Thank you, Loopy Pro.
That's how you do it. Thanks for that jam card, Dave, 302 Dave. Fuck yeah. Where was it? 302 Dave inspired that last jam. Change the key, but leave the melodic phrase unchanged. Thank you, 302 Dave. Boom. I'm going to tag you in this one. Golden Shrimp Guild created these cards, by the way. The jam cards from Golden Shrimp Guild. Shout out to those fine folks. Everybody, this is Kate Fuego. You've seen her in Fuego.
Hi.
This is her first taste of air conditioning.
And it's glorious.
So I wanted to ask you about improvisation as it pertains to what you do. You've been jamming with us on these Wednesday nights and other nights for like at least a year now. About a year?
Yeah, about a year and a half now.
About a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So in the year and a half, let's say 80, 90 odd weeks, maybe 75 times, you know, you've tried to jam along with the band and do what you do, your artistry, and react to the music. And tell me what that's like from your perspective. What are you thinking about? What are the things that are most challenging for you? And what are the things that are most rewarding about it for you?
Well, honestly, I have to echo what every other human you've spoken to this evening has to say about listening. Active listening is what makes you successful collaborating with a group, whether you're putting together a dance with another dancer or whether my dance partners are AbstractAmcr and Rahm.
Yeah.
So since you asked about challenges, one thing that's different when you're dancing here in the studio, just a little bit, how the sauce gets made, is that I have a monitor outside. So before every show, I get here early, I mark out where the edges of the stage are so I stay in the frame. And then I can see myself in the monitor, so I see what's getting projected out into the internet and the metaverse. But I'm watching it backwards from how I'm actually moving.
Right.
So
Maybe at Purple Bee 2.0, we'll flip it around for you. We'll see if we can work that out.
Well, but I mean, I know how to do it now, so I'm used to it, which is funny though, because now when I think about with regular audiences that like, oh no, I'm not moving backwards, I'm moving forwards, so it's kind of like if you're teaching a dance class or if you're leading a yoga session, are you mirroring the group or are you doing the same move as the whole group? So here I'm working opposite from what you guys are doing.
But doesn't that actually mean that all this time when you look in a mirror or you look in your iPhone camera looking back at you, you are seeing a reverse image? It's only to help your own brain process that it's reversing it for you. What I see as a viewer of your fire dancing is exactly what you see on that monitor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's kind of a head fuck.
I know, it's like the infinity. Like I'm watching it in one direction and everybody else is watching it in the other direction.
Crazy, dude.
I know, a K and an 8. 8 sideways is an infinity.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there you go.
It all makes sense now.
Another thing I think about also is, the speed of music that you're playing. Do I want to make, big swoopy moves, or do I want to keep it closer and more deliberate and play with the drum beats or play with, what the bass lines are doing? But also a lot of time, because we have the monitor, I try to play with the negative space. Or if Rahm does a big image with, Grego focus on the bass, like I'll try to dance up and down the frets.
So you actually move your body in the frame to find the good compositional place for you to live.
Oh, and I always rewatch the show every Thursday, so I've noticed a lot.
You know what? I knew that was happening, but I never stopped and thought about you making those decisions creatively as a visual framing thing, blocking. What do you call it? Like it's a cinematography thing. It's like you compose the shot. Of course, Rahm composes the shot because he's the director and he's the camera guy, and he can frame something up. But you can go within your static frame, and you can position yourself in that frame on the right, on the left, in the middle, down low, up top, and you can work your way into Rahm's switch that way. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, definitely that. So it's also when Rahm makes sweepy moves, I try to like dance along with the way that he's moving.
Sweet.
And also when I'm dancing with Abstract, especially during intermission, when y'all are taking a break, I'm always really cognizant of what patterns is he making, and am I better off being in the center of the frame or off on the side playing off of what he's drawing.
Right. A lot of times,
and I'm trying to make negative space.
Yeah.
So that you can do that stuff.
Exactly. He's very cognizant of it. I know when we first started experimenting with Mark, AbstractAmcr, about these things, the first thing we did was we created you call it a vignette. It's basically a rounded mask so that all the stuff in the center of the frame went through, and on the edges you could see his visuals. And so he quickly picked up on that trend, because it worked we could still aim a camera at a guitar player, for instance, and then around them in the negative space, there would be all this art flying around, and it kind of worked. It compositionally generally worked, and it was something our switcher would do automatically, so we went with that. But when we do your fire dancing, a lot of times we'll flip the script on that, and we'll have all his information in the center of the screen, and the edges empty. And so when you notice that and you adjust yourself accordingly, then we're all working together. That's really cool. We got to spin for Scott and Belinda. We got to do this. We got to do this thing. Thank you so much, guys. Rancho was amazing. It's great to see y'all. What's it say? Make a preset. This is my iPad. Thank you very much. There's a app on here called Tau Uno LX, and it's basically the Juno 106. And Debo is just going to come over here. He has some experience with the Juno, don't you? I want you to come over here and play with it till you think you have a patch.
The Juno was one of the first synths I ever gigged with. I had the DX7 and a Juno.
Before they were cool.
Before they were cool. Thanks to my godfather, Robert Skiles, my musical Yoda. Beto. Hope to have him in an interview one of these days here. So we're watching the Zoom feed. It's a little delayed, but I'm going to show you this Juno app. Show them, Ebos.
Okay. I want you to come make this patch, though.
All right. I'm hearing a nice fat bass tone, but I want a little more bite in it for Scott and Belinda. So I'm going to go to the VCF, voltage control filter, and pull my frequency up, standard.
Yes. Thank you.
That's pretty fat, but if we put in a little resonance, it'll go wow a little bit more. And then maybe check out the ADSR on the filter, which is where this over here maybe.
Yeah, that VCA is either controlling the filter or the gate, I think.
Oh.
Envelope that thing.
There you go. Oh, there it goes. So put this. A little snappy. No. We want to go that way. Let's just fucking jack this thing and then jack this thing. We definitely got the Juno chorus on.
No, the chorus over here.
There, we need that extra wide. Oh shit!
Here.
There it is.
Let me hold this for you while you do 2 hands.
It's real hot.
Yeah, they get volume from outside there on the left. Level. Bring that level down. Yeah, so now click a tempo, press play, and then get yourself a loop.
Where's tempo?
Tempo right here. He's making a tempo. He's going to start it, make a loop, and then we'll save the patch. Hit play when you're ready. That says 202. Hold on. Make sure that nothing's playing. Hang on a second.
All right, 110. Ebo's gonna set it up for me. A 16, like a 48 bar. And then we'll save it. This is the Scott and Belinda preset on the Juno. Let's
Get a press play. Try to get. You're gonna hear the hi-hat now. So you have nothing to
Oh, here we go. Make it.
longer pattern. Hold shift, and then lengthen. So you double it here. 48.
Is it right?
Yep. Let's see if this patch has legs. Get a record.
Here we go.
Yeah, that was a 32 bar.
Oh, Evo's got it. Oh, Lord. Come on. That's for Scott and Belinda.
Let me see. We're naming this patch Scott and Belinda. Okay, let me save it. Right click, save as. Oh yeah, I like it. Can we jam to it? That's right. Scott and Belinda's got a patch now.
That was a groove.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Thanks, Debos. If anybody uses this app and they want that patch, let me know. I'll send it to you.
Thanks, Abstract.
Well, it's been a nice evening. Thanks for tuning in and letting us try new things over here. Thanks, Mark, for rolling with the punches. Thanks to everybody who was involved with this for rolling with the punches. I feel like we learned something tonight. We learned a lot of things. We learned a lot of things tonight. We learned about Polish cartoons, fluoridated water, Maya. We talked to Grego's grand cousin. We talked about improvisation. I've got a lot of ideas for next week. Honestly, I think we could take some of these ideas. And
Lolicky Lolik was my favorite jam.
Yeah, it was a good jam.
Of course, Rahm, Simply DB.